Hey guys, it's gonna be a really long video going through all the different packages and options available in the 2022 Toyota Tundra. One of my buddies recently got one of these and likes it a lot, so I figured I'd read into it. And also, I'm trying to get a different truck than my Ram. It's really driving me nuts. I'm sure you've seen those videos. And I was looking at the Silverado, but I also want to give the Tundra a good look at because it has a push-button electric rear locker instead of the Silverado's gov lock, and it has rear coil spring suspension, and you could potentially get air ride on it as well. So I want to see, could I build the truck I really wanted on the Toyota website? The answer is no. You cannot get air ride suspension and the off-road package, which means you can't get a rear locker and air ride. So it's going to not have everything I want. My Ram has all the packages I want. Unfortunately, the truck's just a piece of crap because it's made by Ram. Um, so I can't build the perfect truck with the Tundra, but I can't really do that with the Chevy either because the Chevy, has high gear ratios and it doesn't have a push button rear locker unless you get the ZR2, which is still tempting and still kind of on the table. So I want to go through here and make this spreadsheet because Toyota's options are really confusing and there's like 20 packages for each different build you could do. So I'm going to show you my spreadsheet, which kind of summarizes their build stuff. So if you go to Toyota's website, go to the Tundra, hit build and price, takes you to this screen. The models are the grades, trims are SR, SR5, Limited, Platinum, and 1974. I'm mostly looking at the SR5 and the Limited because I want some packages, but I don't want to pay a bunch of money for a bunch of, appearance type things. The main reason to get the Limited for me would be to get AC seats, but I'll show you something else cool about the Limited in a second. So let's go ahead and select the Limited. And I'll just show you some of the packages they have. All of it's boiled down in this spreadsheet. But yeah, so if you select your grade, then you select your bed length and your cab. I would not get a baby bed by any means, so that's off the table for me. So let's go ahead and select the Crew Max with the 6.5 foot bed, and then it'll take us to powertrain if it ever loads because their website's just terrible. Powertrain is just two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Obviously, we're gonna get four-wheel drive. And then colors, not really worried about that. And then packages. So this truck has 18 different packages based on how I've configured it. Some of them have 20 or more. There's a bunch of different off-road packages with a bunch of other things like a heated steering wheel. Who cares? There's just tons of packages, right? Most of this stuff we don't care about. But for the purpose of this right here, I use the cheapest TRD off-road package available for all these um, to get the option I want. The things I care about are the rear locker and the air ride. So with that in mind, let me go over the spreadsheet. This top one's the SR5. This is the Limited. This is the Platinum in 1974. The D is double cab. This is the bed length. So you can see that you can get the TRD off-road package on the SR5s unless you get the 8.1 foot bed. There's no TRD off-road package available, and that the package is about $2,400 and $2,300 if you get the crew cab. You can get air ride on all these trucks, but air ride's really expensive on an SR5, $5,800, $6,900, etc. So this price down here is the base MSRP for this truck with no options and no packages, just the grade and the bed size and the cab size, plus what it would cost to get air ride. Pretty expensive. So next we get on to the Limited, and we can see that the Limited has ventilated seats. They have TRD packages available. Um, but none of these trucks you can get the TRD package and the air ride, as said earlier. But what's interesting with the Limited is that the air ride suspension package is only $650. It's a standalone package. That's 10% of the cost of getting it on these vehicles up here. So if you look at the price with air ride, it's almost the same price to get a Limited as an SR5. So if you want air ride, you should definitely get a Limited. It's a much better deal. We go down to the next one. This is the Platinum and the 1974 crew cab with the 6.5 foot bed. These vehicles are only available in crew cab. You can see that nothing earth-shattering here. Both ventilated seats. The Platinum does not have the TRD package available, but it does have air ride available. And kind of the opposite on 1974, the TRD package is available, but no air ride. But these are really expensive, and I wouldn't pay for that. There's nothing extra I'm getting there that's relevant to what I need. So I'd probably get the SR5 or the Limited. So that brings me over to this page. So if you go to Toyota's full specs in this truck, 2022 Tundra specs, you can compare three builds side by side, which is great. So these are the three I'd most likely get. These two are double cabs, and this is the Crew Max. The Crew Max is ridiculously long and has a bad turning circle, so I probably wouldn't get it. So I'm really probably leaning between one of these. It just depends if I want ventilated seats and or if I want air ride. Now, knowing me, I don't tow a lot. I do a lot more off-roading. I'd probably lean for getting a truck with a TRD off-road package to get the rear locker over air ride. Obviously, I want both, and I'm very annoyed I can't get both. But let me walk you through it here and point out a few differences between these models that's kind of interesting. MSRP, we already talked about that, but the Limited is rated for one less mile per gallon highway than the SR5. Probably just the wheels and tires, but that's interesting. Also, no one is getting 23 miles per gallon with these Tundras. Most people are getting like 17, 18. So just throwing that out there. They're a lot more efficient than the old Tundra, but they're nothing earth-shattering compared to any of the other 1500s. It's all variant family. So we're going to go through here. I'm going to point out a few things. So ventilated seats on the Limited, that's great. Another big thing on the Limited is you get, where's it at? Dual climate zone control. That's cool. Um, the thing I was excited about was the acoustic laminated windshield. So if you get a Limited, probably a little less wind noise. You got this fancy windshield. My Ram also has that. Very, very cool. So this is interior stuff. I don't really care most of it. And then let's go to engine and performance. So same engine on all these trucks, same torque specs, everything like that. Um, Very decent specs, 390 horsepower roughly, and 480 foot-pounds of torque. So that's all the same. The only difference you're gonna find in here between these models is that the gear ratios. I'm just showing you everything that's on the website, so you can go look at this for yourself. But there's a lot of information on the Toyota website. It's really good if you know how to navigate it and dig it up. Um, this is all the same. This is just different packages. Here we go. Turning circle. So the Crew Max 6.5 foot bed has a 50-foot turning circle, which is pretty bad, and that's a foot and a half worse than the double cab, and that's because that truck's a foot longer. Okay, we'll keep going down. Towing, that's just packages. Um, as you can see, the Limited has a little bit better ground clearance, probably because of the tires and wheels again. Here we go, dimensions. So the dimensions are kind of interesting. Bed lengths are the same, all that, but if you look at overall length, the Crew Max is a foot longer than the other two, which that contradicts the other page where I showed you Toyota said they were the same length. So that's interesting. Same height, same width, but just longer. So I probably wouldn't get that. It'd be nice to have the double cab and the longer bed like I have now with my Ram, but that truck's just such a pain in the butt to get out of some parking garages and stuff. It does fit in my garage, but just barely. Weights and capacities. The truck that tows the most here is the SR5, 11,200 pounds. It's a great towing rating. Um, and that's, it's really good. It goes down a little bit when you get the Limited for whatever reason, because the truck itself's a little heavier. So your towing capacity goes down because of your gross combined rating. And then the SR5 with the Crew Max is the lowest because the crew cab's pretty heavy. And then you look at the curb weights, those are kind of interesting. You can see there's like a 100-pound difference between the Limited and the SR5. Not really sure what that is, probably wheels. And then, of course, the Crew Max is a good bit heavier for that giant cab. Another thing interesting to point out here is the fuel tank sizes. Standard fuel tank on these trucks. The SR5 double gets a smaller fuel tank. You can upgrade it with a package. Unfortunately, that's one of the really expensive TRD off-road premium packages or whatever, so that also makes me want to get the Limited just to get the bigger fuel tank. And tires, bunch of different tires, sizes and stuff. SR5s get 18s, Limited gets 20. But as far as the actual tire diameter, it's all about I've calculated it right here, tire size converter. It's all about a 32.5 inch tire. Doesn't really change much on the package. The off-road ones have wider tires, which actually makes a big difference off-road, but same height. And then packages, this just shows you all the packages available. So a lot of talking. I just want to show you guys the information that's available out here and how to find it. Another tip I can give you is if you build a truck and you're wondering, hey, does it have this or that, or did I build it right? You can go down here after you hit summary and hit download details. That'll give you this spreadsheet, which gives you every option that's on that truck you configured. You can print this out, take it to the dealership, tell them what you want. You can also do Control F and you can search it, which is great. So say like I want to figure out if it's got ventilated seats. Control F, vent, and you can scroll through here and you can see that it's highlighting the word vent. Here we go, heated and ventilated seats. So that's really convenient. I know that's probably tiny and hard to read on the screen capture, but you can do stuff like that with this tool. It's really nice. So it prints out a summary for you in a PDF form that's very searchable because it's not buried in a bunch of different menus. So for instance, if you want to find towing capacity, just type in towing. And then you search through this list, towing features. Here you go, maximum towing capacity, 10,900 pounds. So stuff like that's really nice to use on these spreadsheets. But if you have any questions, comment below. Get on my Patreon page if you want me to actually answer your questions in a meaningful way. And yeah, thanks for viewing.